His call is now being recorded.
My screen visible now?
हाँ
हाँ कर
So, hello everyone. I welcome you all in this presentation, which is about general awareness program. So, we are basically conducting this program on the topic that is importance of functional elements of solid waste management. And my members are Manish Babad, Akshat Advi, and Aditya Valoria. And our guide is Mr. Sachin Shinde sir. So, about our introduction. If I talk about the solid waste management, the collection and the collecting, treating, and disposing of the solid material that is discarded because it has served its purpose or is no longer useful. If improper disposal of municipal solid waste can create unsanitary conditions, and these conditions in turn can lead to pollution of the environment, and it also can outbreaks of vector-borne disease. That's disease spread by rodents and insects. So they also pose a wide variety of administrative, economic, and social problems, which must be changed and solved. So if I talk about the development in the waste management in previous eras, a technological approach to solid waste management began to develop in the later part of the 19th century. Like watertight garbage cans were first introduced in the United States, and sturdy vehicles were used to collect and transport the wastes. A significant development in solid waste treatment and disposal of practices was marked by the construction of the first refuse incinerator in England in 1874. And by the beginning of the 20th century, 15% of major American cities were incinerating solid waste. So even then, however, most of the last cities were still using primitive disposal methods such as open dumping on land or in water. And also, technological advances continued during the first half of the 20th century, which including the development of garbage grinders, compaction trucks, and pneumatic collection systems. And by the mid century, however, it had become evident that open dumping and improper incineration of solid wastes were causing problems of pollution and geopathologizing public health, which conducts as a result, sanitary landfills were developed to replace the practice of open dumping and also to reduce the reliance on waste incineration. Modern solid waste management plants in most developed countries now emphasize the practice of recycling and waste reduction at the source rather than incineration and land disposals. So, if I talk about the main thing, that's why do we need waste management? So the first point I should highlight here is to properly segregate wastes and dispose as per nature of wastes. Also, to reduce. Second point is to reduce waste that gets landfilled and reduce pollution to air and water. The third point is different process of composting and recycling incineration can be applied to different kinds of waste generations. Manure like new products, energy, and extras. There's a pic of solid waste management, solid waste here you can see. If I talk about the main point of our presentation, that is functional elements of solid waste management. The functional elements of solid waste includes the following things, which at the first very is the generation of solid waste. Second comes to on-site handling and storage. And then third comes to collection, which bifurcates into two things: that's transport and transfer, and also processing and resource. And the last one is disposal. So if I talk about the first thing, that's solid waste generation. The generation of solid waste is the inevitable consequence of all processes where materials are used, extraction of raw materials, manufacture of products, consumption and waste management, all generate wastes. The rate of material used today is so large, both with regard to the total amounts and seen as per the capita average, that the waste generator will impact on the environmental quality and human health worldwide if it's not managed properly. Second point I want to highlight here is a few countries or even decades ago, the solid waste generated was a small fraction of what it is today. The drivers of the generation are primarily the increased availability of energy and secondly, the population growth. If we talk about the cause of solid waste generation, if I talk about the minor cause, the minor cause which generates the solid waste is like tires, scrap metals. Third is demolition wastes. asbestos, vehicle scraps, electronic appliances, and these are all the minor projects, minor causes. If I talk about the major causes, that is, the first one is commercial establishments. The second thing comes out to residential houses. The third comes to debris from construction and demolition. The fourth point is debris from roads such as asphalt and scrap metals. And the fifth one is scrap from vehicles. And the last one, but not least, is agriculture. So, if I talk about the ways to reduce solid waste generation, so the first way to reduce solid waste generation is we should use a reusable bottle or cup for a beverage on the go. The second point is use reusable grocery bags, and not just for groceries, but for the other things also. The third point is purchase wisely and recycle it. And the fourth one is compost it. And the fifth one is avoid single-use food and drink containers and utensils. And the fifth one is buy second-hand items and donate used goods. And seventh one is shop local farmers markets and buy in milk to reduce packaging. And the last point I want to highlight is curb your use of paper like mail, receipts, magazines, etc. Now, if I talk about the second thing, that's handling and storage of waste. If we talk about the on-site handling, activities associated with the handling of solid waste until they are placed in a container used for storage before collection is we can say that that is on-site handling. And now, if I talk about the on-site storage, the factors which are considered for the on-site storage are what type of containers we are using, whatever containers, on where the location of the containers is. Uh, Public health is also the one of the factor. Aesthetics are also the one of the factor. And the last one, but not least, is the methods of collection, how we are collecting the waste. If I am now talking about the segregation of municipal solid waste, we also know that waste segregation means dividing the waste into wet waste and dry waste. The dry waste contains waste cans, aluminum foils, plastics, metal glass, papers, batteries, dried plants, etc. And the wet waste, which includes wet waste food, vegetables, peels, etc. Now, what are the if I talk about the objectives, why we are sorting these, why we are doing segregation? The first point is to separate recyclable material reuse, recovery of materials and energy. The third point is hazardous waste, separate landfills. Fourth point, minimization, reduction in landfill spaces. Uh, Here a picture of waste management. Which you can see the like I can say that these are three dustbins, yellow color, blue and green. In which you can see the yellow is for wet and blue is for dry and green is for recycling. From here, I'm gonna give hands to my colleague.
So the collection of solid waste. So in simple words, when we talk about collection of solid waste, we can say that collecting waste means gathering it from where it is produced, such as home, business, or market, and transporting it either to an intermediate collection site or to a final place of recycling disposal. Waste collection is a part of the process of waste management. It is the transfer of solid waste from the point of use and disposal to the point of treatment of landfill. The collection of municipal solid waste is a public service that has important impacts on public health and the appearance of towns and cities. So, collection of waste is an essential step in municipal solid waste management. Waste, waste collection also includes the curbside collection of recyclable materials that technically are not waste as part of a municipal landfill diversion program. So when we talk about household waste, the household waste in economically developed countries will generally be left in waste containers or recycling bins prior to collecting by a waste collector using a waste collection vehicle. Waste collection barges are used in some towns, for example, in Venice, Italy. However, in many developing countries such as Mexico and Egypt, waste left in bins or bags at the side of the road will not be removed unless residents interact with the same waste collectors. The waste collection vehicle will often take the waste to a transfer station where it will be loaded up into a larger vehicle and sent to either a landfill or alternative waste treatment facility. Here are some images which show the collecting of waste. As first image show the waste truck, and second is the waste collection barge and manual waste collection and waste on a sidewalk for collection. So next is transfer of waste. So transfer of waste is solid waste transfer stations are facilities where solid waste, mainly municipal solid waste, is unloaded from collection vehicles or containers for reloading into larger, long distance vehicles for transport to landfills or other permitted solid waste facilities for final disposal. Facilities that move solid waste from one mode of transportation to other, such as rail to road, can also be considered transfer stations. At many transfer stations, workers screen incoming waste to recover recyclables or materials inappropriate for disposal at a solid waste landfill, such as large appliances, tires, automobile batteries. Municipal solid waste management that quickly decomposes, such as food waste, must be removed from a transfer station by the next day. Recyclables may be stored in containers for a longer period of time. Combining several trucks of waste into a single shipment reduces trips to and from the disposal site, saving communities money on labor and transportation. Transfer stations may be publicly or privately owned. Transfer stations owners and operators must have a solid waste facility permit from IDEM, as well as any required local land use permits before constructing and operating a transfer station. So, transfer station operators must prevent contamination from leaving the site. To do this, modern transfer stations must transfer waste inside an enclosed building with concrete floors and a waste water. So, in addition to municipal solid waste, which includes both household and office waste, transfer stations can receive construction waste or demolition waste, industrial process waste, containerized pollution control waste, and other waste allowed by the facility permit. Transfer stations cannot accept other waste, including hazardous waste, infectious waste, and other waste listed in the Indian Administrative Code at 329 IAC. The environmental impacts on transfer of waste. So transfer stations make solid waste collection more efficient and reduce overall transportation cost, air emissions, energy use, truck traffic, and road wear and tear. Modern transfer stations designed to collect wastewater, control spills, and minimize blowing litter, odor, and dust have a minimal impact on the environment. Transfer stations operators must monitor the facility grounds for blowing litter, dust spills, and the presence of vectors such as rodents, insects, or birds. Once a transfer station is permanently closed, operators must remove all waste and residue from the facility and ensure no dumping occurs once the facility are closed. So now some images of transfer of waste. So the next is transportation of waste. The collection, transfer, and the disposal of solid waste requires a significant investment in waste management equipment and vehicles, as well as the infrastructure that allows this machinery to function effectively. Consequently, transportation of the waste itself takes up the most of the total budget for solid waste management and can be a big financial commitment for many short haul waste transporters. From the dump trucks and front end roll off containers to wheel loaders, excavators, and other heavy equipment, there are many ways to move and manage your solid waste. There are different types of solid waste transportation, which are like dump trucks and trailers, landfill tippers, storage and treatment tanks, heavy equipments, walking floors, trailers, bulk, pneumatic, and tanker. Further, Manish will take over.
Yes, so the next point is the solid waste transportation practices. So whether you use micro routings to create a specific path for your drivers, or whether you use better balance your collection and transportation routines, your waste hauling routines shouldn't be overlap. And then to keep all the driver and vehicle overload, the same collection and transport time should be equal, and each routine, all vehicles and equipments should all have a regular cleaning and maintenance schedules in order to prevent the build-up of odors. And last point is to minimize the number of left-hand turns to improve safety outcomes and increase the fuel efficiency. Next. So next point is resource recovery and processing. So the resource recovery is using waste as an input material to create a valuable product as a new output. It is the process of recovering materials or energy from solid waste for reuse. The aim is to reduce the amount of waste generated, thereby reducing the need for landfill space and optimizing the values created from the waste. The material found in municipal solid waste, construction and demolition waste, commercial waste, and industrial wastes can be used to recover resources for manufacturing of new materials and products. And plastic, paper, aluminum, glasses, metals are the examples where values can be found in waste. Next. Then the hierarchy for resource recovery. Waste hierarchy is a tool used in the evaluation of process that protect the environment alongside resources and energy consumption from the most favorable to least favorable actions. The aim of waste hierarchy is to extract the maximum practices benefits from products and to generate the minimum amount of waste. The proper application of the waste hierarchy can have several benefits. It can help to prevent the emissions of greenhouse gases, reduce pollutants, save energy, and create a job and stimulate the development of green technologies. Next point. So this includes five steps: reduce, reuse, recycle, incineration, and landfill. So reduce means to minimize the amount of waste we create, and reuse means referring using items more than once or to find new ways to use things. Recycle means to turn something old and useless into something new and useful product. Incineration with energy recovery refers to combustion of waste under controlled condition to generate electricity. And last one is landfill, is a site for the disposal of waste materials. Next. So this is the flowchart of the most favored methods is resource reduction and reuse, recycling, energy recovery, and least preferred is treatment and disposal. The remaining slides will be discussed by Aksa.
So in this, we have seen that how in solid waste management how it helps, and now further how we can dispose our solid waste at home. This disposal can be done by municipal corporation, and at home we can also do. So how we can do and why we should do in this, we I will explain it. Next, next slide. Yes. Okay. Before disposing, we have to take some precautions that while we as reuse, recycle, and reduce, these three terms are there. So we can apply it, and we can apply implement at our homes itself. Plastic is major and important role which takes time to decompose it, and so we have to avoid plastic, use cloth bags which we can buy while shopping. In a kitchen also we can use glass containers and avoid plastic container, which we usually do. We can use by shopping, we can use electronic bills and avoid paperwork, which will reduce like if we are doing if in a family four are there and 1000 kg weight are there, then we can reduce then in 90% of itself. In this we can reduce our solid waste material. Next. In this we can reuse, as we have all said that we can reuse the same material. There are many school orphans that we can donate stuff of home, and we can make it make it habit, and make it implement that. Next. So in dispose, we can use a composting method which we can make our kitchen waste, uh, take our kitchen waste, and outside our house we can make it, and we can compose that solid our kitchen waste. It is very benefit in our in surrounding of us, and we can uh, um, we can also fertilize gardening of it. Next. In this we have seen that segregating our waste is also, if we can do, if we can't dispose our waste, we can segregate our waste in dry, wet, and hazardous waste in form of dustbins, and we can separate them, and we can make a make a make a good effect in this. Next. In this recycle, we have we can use materials which is there, and new technology is there in like many of us use milk packets which we normally throw it out, but there is a organization which we can contact them, and these packets we can deliver them, and through these packages they manufacture new things. So in this way we can help recycling in our society, in our country. This technology helps to recycle, and we have to support them as as we are a member of this earth. Next. Composting is very beneficial, like improving soil structure. It enhance capacity of oil. It enhance nutrition. It is in this we can gardening also. We can plant about this salt about the salt which we compost. This is very beneficial, which we can do at home. So we can get a composting in our day-to-day life. Next. So these are some reference which we have taken, and that's it in our presentation. You can also ask question if you want.
Thank you, and thank you for your precious time. If anyone has any queries or questions, he or she might ask.
Manish,
Yes.
I have a question for you. Why resource recovery is important?
It is important because to divert useful waste and end of life materials away from landfills, so they can be used to create valuable new products or outfits.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Aditya, my question is to you. What is the included in waste pickup?
Can you repeat the question?
What is included in a waste pickup?
Like discussing cost with waste removal service should determine whether they fit with your business budgets or not. Ask what is included in the waste pickup contract, which could mean dumpster units, bottle recycling, paper cycling, and other services. When these other and amenities are not included in your waste removal services, that's when things can start to really add up.
Okay, so my next question is, will recyclable product be sorted?
Not all commercial businesses and properties produce the same kinds of waste. When setting on a commercial waste removal services, you should receive detailed information on the services, distinct recycling and collection processes. For example, many office buildings options for opt for regular trash bins, bottle recycling bins, as well as paper cycling receptacles. Other industries that don't produce as much paper waste may not require a proper cycling pickup.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I have a question for Aksa.
Yes.
So Aksa, how much time is required to completely prepare the compost?
So we around 2 to 3 months we the composition is done, and we can plant there any plant also. And any more questions?
Yeah, I had one other question. There comes a odor after preparing compost. So what we can do to prevent that?
Okay. So their smell is come, but if we in day-to-day life, our kitchen waste is there. We can collect there, and we can dip over some area or some pot we can take, and after that we can put some dry leaves. So dry leaves will vanish the smell, and in if we start first, so we can put some after dry leaves. We can put some curd, so the reaction will not get like smelly, and we will not get so much smell. And after that we can put some again the next day some kitchen waste is collected, and again we can drop there some dry leaves. So there is the process that we can do in composting.
Okay, all right, Aksha.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, hello there. Question to all of you, that how can be the plastic waste be managed? Can you tell about it?
Thank you for asking this question. I would love to give the answer of this question. As you asked the question that how can plastic waste be managed? Look, according to me, that people should be asked, or if people use reusable items, and if they initiate models which allow upcycling of waste items for the better use. As you know, this might help to reduce the plastic wastes from urban local bodies, as well as curb the value for the waste among the citizens also. I hope you got the answer.
Yes, thank you for your answering.
Thank you for your precious time. I hope this presentation was pretty knowledgeable to you, to all of the guys present here. Thank you once again.